You join me in the back of my new Talbot Alpine. So here it is. And wow, what a car it is as well. It's absolutely gorgeous in here. Really comfy. It's like a big armchair, which is all exactly what you want. Tailgate's toast, unfortunately, but it's an extremely good place to be. Got an original radiator grille there, which I actually quite like it like that, actually, with the black bits there. But yeah, it's all it's in pretty good order in here, actually. There's a bit of rot in the front corner of the floor, but it's got a Peugeot steering wheel, which is a shame. Other than that, it's really, really nice. This is perhaps the most luxurious car I've ever owned. So let's take a look outside. And this is where I've just realised my best mate Typhon, aka Dale, has put the bloody child locks on. Hey up and away folks, and welcome to Gray's Trains. My name is Gray and this is my train. So today we're taking the Super D in one of its scenarios. So this is a rail tour scenario that comes with, and I don't care that we're not really in the platform, so sodded. So yeah, this is the Meshtools Super D, which is an engine I do enjoy driving a lot. It's a very nice engine, and as you can probably tell, we're on the Weardale Teesdale route because it's bloody good. So our next stop is at Bishop Auckland. Oh dear, that's a good starting bit. Right, so I think it was control. Oh shush! Right, automatic injectors, automatic fireman. Right. Of course, remember that the regulator and reverser are the opposite way around. Now the problem that we've got with this scenario is the fact that when this engine primes, the brakes come on, and because we're on a grade, the engine thinks that it's priming. So this is going to be interesting, methinks. We've got a green signal, so we've got to be going, and unfortunately our brakes just aren't quite ready just yet, so let's just open her up a little bit. So we've got a large ejector. D, I think, is it? Well, we're moving. No, we're not. On that, you can see actually how the brakes actually apply more when I open the reg. I think this was a bit of an oversight when they were trying to write the scenario, because of course the problem is that you're starting it on a hill with a full boiler, so the engine thinks it's priming, therefore, well, the game thinks the engine is priming, and therefore you can't really move off. So it's very good if you want to go anywhere. The brakes are being very slow, but hold on, here we go, they should start to come off now. Let's have a little bit more. Come on. A little more, come on. This is how to start a train. We're not moving. Yes, we are. Slowly. As I said, the problem is the fact that the engine's priming because it thinks it's priming. Well, the game thinks the engine's priming, so can't go full reg. Got to take it gingerly. I've also got the cylinder cocks open to try and assist in the general effort. Right, come on. Right, there we go. Apparently we're still going to be early though, so that's good. What's the other whistles like? This one should be Control B. So B whistle. Right. Okay, so notch her back. Right, we're nearly at the stage where we won't be priming anymore, so I'll be able to open the engine up a little bit more. In fact, I think I can probably take the cocks off. There we go. There. Good, just so nice. Whether it's because of the sound pack or whether that's how they come in the game, I'm not too sure, but that sounds very good. There we go. We've got our lamps. Back a little bit. Slip the brakes running. This is a very good start to the video. I'm struggling to get the engine to move because, well, I love Meshtools products. I genuinely do. I think Meshtools products are very, very good. They're very high quality. So this is actually my first look at the Meshtools product actually on Gross Trains. So I should just explain. The chap in charge is called Michael Whiteley, and he is a very good developer. Well, I think it's a team. I presume it's a team. But they're very, very competent at what they do, and I can't really say they've ever launched a bad bit of DLC. Can't say that they've ever have, actually, because they did the... Well, some of the early stuff is very dated. Right, so let's open up the reg a bit more. Keeping an eye on my steam generation and usage rate. So we can accelerate and make steam at the same time, even though we're making plenty of steam at 174 psi. Ugly frames. Pretty sure I get much better frames when Bandicam's not running. ugly, 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 ugly frames. Which I can't do an awful lot about at the moment. The engine just keeps blowing off. It just keeps making steam. Of course, there's loads of things to love about this engine. This engine, I would say, quite confidently, has set a standard. It has set a high standard for advanced locomotives and TS. I think that many people could agree that, because even in low quality graphics, the textures look right, the modelling looks right, and when I've not got Bandicam running, it doesn't impact my game frames that badly at all. The sounds are very good and varied, and of course, I've just realised we're coming up to 20 minutes, and I'm probably doing 21. I'm doing a career scenario, so I have to be more by the book than a real train driver. Because of course, this engine being a pre-grouping engine doesn't have a speedo. So in real life, how would you know how fast this engine was going? Unless you had a dynamometer car at the back. But this is something that I've always commended Meshtools products on. It's the fact that they have the ability to create products that really transport you into the steam age, and I do mean that, they really do. Well done. This is interesting. Vacuum brake handle, position left to right, release running, ejector off, on. Oh, I see, so that's basically for when you're applying. Right, okay. I will have to admit, the automatic fireman, the automatic ejector and trimmers, not really the best. A few drives, well, I've taken this engine on a load of drives, and I got to the point where I was able to use it and get it moving. But the problem that I've always had is that the automatic fireman and the automatic ejectors just don't really seem to keep up. I've even gotten into manual injectors at times, and even with both sets on, it doesn't quite keep up. The injectors are a bit slow, which is quite irritating in casual gameplay, I would say. Also the scenarios, as I said, I think I've said this before, I like DLC that comes with a decent range of scenarios, a decent variety of scenarios. This comes with a few, including one with, right, okay, so you get a fair amount of stuff in this pack, including effectively a basic advanced version of the austerity. So they came up with the Return to Mardi pack, where you had it's just going to go to Durham. Anyway, no, yeah, visual rather. But yeah, you get effectively a version of the Return to Mardi austerity, but in J94 condition, with advanced physics and sounds and controls. Which may sound very, very good. And indeed it is. I think it's very good that you get an advanced loco. With the advanced loco, you get a 2-in-1 effectively. And you get a nice wagon pack as well. Meshtools do very good wagons. And you could buy a lot of their wagon packs from the Steam Workshop as well. No, not the Steam Workshop, the Marketplace. I bought a few of them. I bought the standard vans and the coal wagons. And I haven't got any complaints with them at all. They're very good vans. They actually lean through the corners as well. They ride very close to actual wagons. Which ain't bad at all. I don't think that's bad at all. I just can't get over the beauty of this route. Yeah, you get a good amount of wagons in this pack. You get, scenario-wise, there's one which is a bit of an irritant, which was, I think it's called a diversion or something like that. And the problem with that one was that, well, I ran out of coal. I actually ran out of coal. I think it was just over halfway, which was really irritating to me because, of course, I'm limited by what scenarios I could do. For example, I can't really do nighttime scenarios because if I do nighttime scenarios, then the problem I face is that I won't be able to see a damn thing. There's one night scenario. There's a diversion, which is a scenario which, as I said, I find quite irritating, and then there's this. So you get 3 scenarios with the G2 or Super D, and then you get one with the J94, and that's basically it. And it's, well, I just feel like there's a bit of a lack of variety in there. I like a good amount of scenarios. Like Victory Works products all know how to do a variety in scenarios. I haven't done any of the scenarios for the county yet, I will just say. I haven't done any of those yet. I just haven't had the chance what they work and everything. But all in all, they're generally pretty good. There's like the Q6 scenarios. Yeah, what was it? I think it was something like 6 or 7 scenarios, and they're all pretty good fun to drive actually. There's a shunting scenario which incorporates a drop-off goods. It's a 2-parter, so you have to shunt your train together in the first part, and in the second part you have to drop off your train at load stations on your way up to Wearhead. And it's a nice fun scenario, really good fun to do. And then of course it was the scenario that I demonstrated on in episode 4, I think. Water everywhere, which again was a good scenario, where you got a variety of operations, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that you've got a bit of variety in the scenarios, because when it's just, you got a lot of cases where scenarios can be incredibly lazy. This is annoying because I can't really demonstrate the sounds at the moment while the frames are like this. But trust me, when this engine does speed up, you will hear some better sounds. This is an engine I always find that I end up riding in the cab. I don't know how they manage to do that, but I always end up riding in the cab, particularly seeing as you have a heads-out view with the cab view. The 2 heads-out views, actually. Per side, I'm guessing. Yeah. Oh, you get a back view. You get the spectacle view. That's always handy. I like a spectacle view. Get one when you're looking at this camera. That's oh, that's for the injector. That's what the injector stockpile one. Oh, no. Get one for the firebox, and you can see that our fireman is being stingy. You can see the grate. You can see the grate. That's not good. Even though we are at the ideal fireman. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting the better sound. Nice sounds, really nice sounds. So yeah, I've been looking forward to having a go at trying to showcase the G2 in one way or the other. Obviously I'm not doing the engine justice with lovable frames and poor graphics, but so we're just taking it off the driving experience and the sounds. And the sounds are very good. And all in all, it captures the character of this engine extremely well. I mean, extremely well. It's got bags of character, this engine, like the Q6, but I just find the Q6, I don't know, I think the Q6 has a bit more of a personality about it. I'm not too sure. but I really like this. This is a really nice engine to drive. And the stuff you get in the pack as well, that's really good. Right, I think I can actually notch her back a bit more. Take her up to 40%. Because I think it's just trying to inject, automatic firearms, yeah, but trying to inject now, but I'm not really giving it much of a chance. We're also slowing down, which is not productive. It's not productive. There we go, full reg. With 40% cut off. We're maintaining speed up at 1 in 100. But I just know I'm not putting any water in the boiler. I know, because I've driven this engine enough times to know the fact that when you're running this engine at full chat, it doesn't like it. It's more of a plodder. It plods along. It doesn't really like to race about. It doesn't like doing full throttle. That's probably why our boiler water level is holding at 47. We've got virtually half a boiler. Oh no, we are actually getting some water in the boiler. This is a rarity. I think as well, what they've done is that they've given different engines different characteristics depending on the liveries, depending on what year you set as well. Because when I say that this engine sets the bar, I do mean it sets the bar. It's the fact that all you need to do to get the engine you want is type the running number, type the year, and you get the engine in the exact condition that it was in that year, with every modification that it carried. And it doesn't just cover G2s either. It also covers G2As, which were the G1 rebuilds, I believe. Because there was two versions. It was G2s that were built from new, and it was just the G2s were built from new, and the G2As were made for rebuilds, generally of LNWR compounds, G1s, and so on. Which I think is brilliant. The fact that, you know, they should just call this a Super D pack. I did do an experiment because there was a couple of G2As based at Shrewsbury, and I had a little go. I plonked an engine down and I gave it the running number of one of those engines and the year it was withdrawn, and it accurately depicted it. Even though I had no pictures of the actual loco, it did change the details to make them relevant, which I think is marvellous. I think it's really good attention to detail there, and it makes it so much easier for getting the engine you want as well. As I said, the characteristics change. Like, you'll get some locos where the brakes won't really hold off that well. You'll get other engines where they won't inject that well. You get engines of all varieties of character, and I like that. I like the fact that different locos do different things. I do like that. I respect that. I think it's fantastic, actually. It's really good. Now, in terms of comparing this with the Q6, because you've got to admit that these engines back in the day, when the North Eastern Railway was a thing, and the London North Western was a thing, those two companies kind of operated. They operated on different sides, but I can't really say that they both did the same job. They didn't do the same job, because Q6 was exclusive to the mineral engine. That was more of a sort of niche. It just so happened to go to general goods as well. This was an express goods engine, I believe, and they would rarely be found on coal trains. Well, bloody good engines, though, bloody good engines. Though, according to railwaymen, absolutely terrifying to drive. They just worked in a totally different manner. The fact that the regulator reversed the wrong way round, and so on. And this raises a question about the model. Do you need
to simulate that?
I don't think you do, to be honest. I don't really think you have to simulate that. Now, there is actually a mode on this engine where you can press control and whatever it is, and you will have the engine running like any other standard of DLC, where A makes it go faster, B makes it go slow, well, A opens the reg rather, whereas this D opens the reg and A closes the reg. So you can actually set it to be more conventional, which is a nice touch. I think that's a nice thought, the fact that, you know, they went, okay, not everybody's going to be wanting the full authentic experience. So I like that. I like it when the developer tries to be as inclusive as possible. But this was an engine that they've been developing for a while, and when it arrived, it did not disappoint, honestly. When I got it, I wasn't disappointed at all. I was very excited to hear about it, and I was very excited to hear about its features. One feature that was very new when this engine was launched, which I'm tempted to say 2016. I'm tempted to say 2016 this engine came out. But one thing that I was just blown away by is the tab whistle. Where basically, if you want to request a passive signal of danger, you press tab and you get a little whistle sound. Now, of course, this is now becoming more and more universal. But back when this engine came out, there was nothing like that. There was nothing like that. There was, I don't think anybody really came up with an engine that did that. So, to me, this engine really did set the bar. And I've got to say that even though the controls are supposedly backwards, they're so easy to get used to. You get so used to the fact that everything's on the wrong way round. It's not a terrifying engine to drive. When I hear people say, oh, I can't drive the G2, I can't drive the Super D. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's not that hard. It actually isn't. Once you get it going, once you're aware of some of the little quirks that it has, it's a damn fine engine to drive. It's got plenty of power, and all in all, it's a very nice item for DLC. It's a very nice loco in general. It sounds very good, and you'll actually find it quite forgiving sometimes as well, which is very nice. It's a good engine if you treat it well. That's the thing. You've got to treat this engine well. You can't thrash it. You can't thrash this engine. I think that's the problem that everybody does. They go full reg all the time, and they go, oh, we're just making this steam, or oh, we're just check the brake shop, or oh, the brakes apply by themselves, and so on. But the thing is that I've learned that the brakes automatically apply when your boiler pressure goes down to a certain level, and that's because it just doesn't have the pressure to keep the brakes off, which is fair enough. When the engine primes, that puts the brakes on. I'm not sure what the science is behind that, but I'm guessing that's what the real engine does, so that's fair enough. You just have to bear in mind not to overfill the fire, not to overfill the water, don't thrash it, and remember that all the controls are back to front. And it's a very rewarding engine to drive. It's extremely rewarding. This is why I like driving advanced locos. I mean, I've got 3 Just Straight advanced products. I've got the 5MT, the V2, and the Clan. I've got those. And I can't really get to grips with the Clan at the moment. I've owned that for a few years. I can't really get to grips with it. But the V2, well, the V2 I find feels rather half-assed, but that's another topic. Well, that's a topic for another day. 5MT I absolutely love. Honestly, I can't stop driving that thing. Whenever I do get any spare time, I generally drive it. It's a damn fine engine to drive. Really good fun. Good sound. And even better, now I've got the SSS enhancement pack, which includes some of the named variants that are used in the southern region, so that makes me very happy. I might come at 5MT at some stage, depends what my frames are like by then. But yeah, all in all, I like driving advanced products because there's a great feeling of satisfaction in driving something which is as close to the real thing as the game would allow. I'm pretty sure that the real engine would be more complicated than this. I know it will be because that's the nature of the beast. But I like driving this engine, and I still feel a great satisfaction in getting it to move off, getting it to pull a heavy train. You know, I constantly find myself trying to pull 45 wagons in this thing, or 50 wagons. I keep trying to push myself. Whenever I do get the chance to drive this engine, I do generally try and push what this engine can do. Right, I think we're going downhill because I saw my water level drop. This is another thing as well, because the water changes, the water level changes depending on the grade. It's very cool. So we are going down a hill. I can see the speed is accelerating. I can see we're accelerating, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to coast, judge our speed a little bit. I don't really want to have to use the brakes if I can help it, but I think I might have to, so put them in there. Take it. Now 18 is when they start taking effect. Okay, there we go. We are braking now. Right, so brakes are in the biggest position. The brakes are also adaptive as well. The reaction time depends very much on the length of train that you're taking, which is another realistic feature. And I'm pretty sure the brake blocks are animated on this. I'm not too sure on that though. Right, okay, so I can see, now that we've got past 18, you can see that the speed has risen a little bit. So, apply a little bit more brake, just a little. Bear in mind that there is a delay between the handle, you know, when it returns to the running position, there is a bit of a delay. It will keep applying until it eventually settles down. Right, so we're not too far from the bottom of this 1 in 100. I can see that we're making plenty of time. Okay, we're actually speeding up a bit. That's because the brakes are creeping off, but that's okay. Okay, so still got to 1 in 100 to go, so we just put the brakes on a little bit again. Okay. Just to keep it in check. This is actually how easy this engine is. This is how manageable this engine is. Okay, so we're now coming onto a level. You can see that my speed is accelerating a little bit more. So release the brakes. We're past 18, so the brakes are pretty much released now. There you go. And you can't really see the brake from my face. So I'm sorry. But basically, that little handle down there, that's the brake. And you can see, actually, if I put this into you've got your off, running, and then your apply. And I also like this, the fact that even the fireman can play with the brake as well. So if he sees something he likes, he can just stop the train. Of course, you get a realistic steam chest with this engine as well. So, I am just trying to work out what speed this engine is happiest at. I think it's happiest around 40 to 50 mark. That's where it's really happy. It likes doing that speed. It doesn't like to go much faster. You will struggle to get it much faster, but it's very happy between 40 and 50 miles an hour. All in all, I love G2s. I love LNWR engines in general. I like the wheels. I like they have a unique quality about them, and even British Railways. You've got to admit, British Railways must have seen that. The fact that they didn't bother putting a shed, another plate on the smoke box door. I like that. I think it gives these engines a bit more of a unique sort of character. Yeah, we've got green light. We got a green signal, that's good. So just keep an eye on the signals as well. Because of course, as I said, career scenario, if I ever run the red signal, game over. And I've had to do this recording again. I don't really want to. Oh god, I love this route. I do love this route. The scenery is just right. I mean, look over there, and the hills fade into the distance. I like that. I like that. I mean, granted, my graphics don't sell this route. They don't really show off this route to its full potential. I grant you. But I like this route. I like driving on it. As I've mentioned in the Q6 video, there's so much opportunities with this route. This is just one of them. And this is the thing, I could probably do several episodes on this route, and it will always feel fresh. That's something I like. I like the fact that I could probably do one where I started Darlington, like, what was it, the Q6 video that I was at Barnard Castle. Second one, I started at Durham, going to Bishop Auckland. I could probably do another one going from Darlington to Wearhead if I wanted to. And there's loads of variety on this one route. And if anyone could think of any better of anything that's better value for money, then I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it because I don't think we get much better from this. This is concerning. The fact that I'm doing a career scenario, I haven't got any points yet. Crucially, I'm lost in it. But according to this, we are going to end up there early. They're still saying I'm going to take 5 minutes to get there, and I've got a mile to go. So I'm curious. I think we might have a red signal ahead. So, what's the signal say? That distance says it's okay. I'm getting paranoid now, but this just works. I'm sorry, this just works. This engine, that scenery, that works. I'm sorry, but no Virgin Voyager or Turbo Star looks right amongst the scenery. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. All those people who, like, I mean, I'm not going to judge, really. If you're into modern image, you're into modern image. And I'm not going to judge you or criticise you for that. But the people who, because I do know some people who do outright slate the steam lover side. I prefer British Railways era or steam era because it's just more interesting to me. Granted, I will buy like particular British rail items because I'm into the 60s, well, 70s and 80s. That's what I'm into. And I just realised I forgot the regulators. You know I get points out. I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything. But I do understand a lot of people who are probably watching this video probably haven't had the pleasure of driving the G2 yet. Right, so that signal is green. I love this route. I love this route. The colours are bob on. This is the thing, the amount of routes you go on where the colours are just, you know, this is a good route, even if you're on poor quality, low quality graphics. This route looks great. This is by far and away, perhaps one of my favourite, if not my all-time favourite route for train sim. That's a thought. Right, so. Right. Okay, just apply the brakes a little bit. I suspect we are going to have a red signal. Because, I'm sorry, but it's saying I'm going to take 4 minutes to do less than a mile. That, to me, says red signal. I'm not an expert in these things, but I get an inkling. You know, I get suspicions. I get suspicions a lot. Right. Just put more of a position on. There we go. We're actually applying a little bit now. sound of this engine. This engine makes such a great noise. Right, so we've got a classic 5 just coming down. And we're actually slowing down pretty much for this 15 mph limit that's just coming up. And, oh god, we're getting 7 frames a second as we're coming into Bishop Auckland. It'll get better in the tunnel. I hope it gets better in the tunnel. It would be nice if it got better in the tunnel. I love the whistles, they're so atmospheric. I've always found it weird how heavy freight engines always seem to have a weedy whistle. I find that somewhat, well, not really hilarious, but kind of cute. It's kind of like if you look at someone like Hulk Hogan or Arnold Schwarzenegger and they suddenly go, "Hello, Senpai, I love you." It's that sort of thing. It's kind of cute, but in a very unexpected way. You know, it's like having Charles Bronson, i.e. the criminal, you know, the most, pretty much the world's most violent man who's been in prison for so long, yet he hasn't actually killed anybody. Never killed somebody, just always been in prison. But it's like taking someone like him and then him going, "Do you want a hug? Do you want a hug, my dear? I'll give you a little cuddle." It's kind of like that. It's kind of nice. I love old freight engines. I love them. They've got such a character of their own, and that's what I love about them. This engine's got a character. I haven't got around to giving it a name. I don't think it's quite worthy of a name though. That's the thing. There's something about this engine. I don't know, there's something about it where I just like the Q6 more. I don't think it's the complexity, because as I've demonstrated here, I am perfectly capable of driving this engine. Granted with a couple of aids, but that's more for the convenience of the video than the convenience to my driving. I do drive this engine on a regular basis. I do like driving this engine. I like the sounds, I like the modelling, I like the advanced features. I like it. I think it's all in all a very polished product. It's just well thought out. I like it a lot. It's got a character. They actually go to the effort of giving engines characters depending on what conditions. So if you have a clean one like this one, it's going to work very well. If you have one that's really heavily weathered, you're going to have some mechanical faults, which I really like. I really like those little touches because they make the engine more interesting. You know, it's more like a Russian roulette. When you decide to take them out on a drive, you go, "Oh, is this engine going to be really good, or is this engine going to be a bit of a handful?" And that's more interesting because in real life, steam engines were like that. Some of them were leaky, some of them needed work on in particular areas and whatnot. But I don't know. I just like the Q6 more. I think it's something to do with looks, but I love the Super D. I'd say I've said that the Super Ds are perhaps one of my favourite engines. But the Q6, in game anyway, it just wins it for me. And I don't know why, because it's not perfect by no means. I think the sounds are too quiet, and I think sometimes you can be extremely restricted in it. I actually reckon it might be slightly underpowered as well. This engine's just nice though. The engine's still slowing down. Good though, I'm just giving it more steam. There we go, now we're speeding up. How much time have we got? Bags of time. We still got 4 minutes. So I'm guessing we're probably going to be stood at this station for a while then. I'm guessing. That's an educated guess. Which means I can probably talk about more stuff. can I just say about the Weardale Teesdale route? Class 25s, really bloody nice. I really like them, I like the sound, and I got the Vulcan Productions reskins pack of them as well. And they're very, very nice. Though, there's a BR Blue Diesel pack with a Class 25/3. And my question is this: how come no one's made a version of Sibylla, as in the Class 25 lives on the North Yorkshire moors? How come no one's made a reskin for that yet? If you're a reskinner, and you just so happen to be watching this video, why haven't you reskinned the Class 25/3 and the BR Blue Diesels pack to be like Sibylla? Leave your comments down there. Give me your excuse. I bet it's not substantial enough. Of course, you guys should know that I respect developers a great deal. I respect they're real people and they live real lives, and I'm grateful to the likes of Chris Wilson, who puts up with plebs like me with our constant demands and things. I mean, my only gripe with Mr. Wilson is the fact I can't keep up. Just as soon as I get round to covering one engine on this, one of his engines, he releases another. So I have to cover that next, do that one, then he releases another one, and so on. So I'm actually holding up on the Dunhour stair at the moment. Right, okay. Right, that'll do. Okay, and let's open the doors and take a little look around Bishop's Auckland, just to see what makes this route so good. I mean, Bishop Auckland, I think, pretty much just sums it up for me. This is really nice. It's got atmosphere, this place. When you've got a foggy scenario, it's really good. And here's one of those Class 25s. It's just unfortunate that frames are poo, but just listen to it. That's the thing. I mean, just listen to the sounds. I think I'm pretty much right in saying that this is perhaps one of the first decent Sulzer engine locos that we've got again. Might do something on the Class 25 with the VP reskins. We shall see. But I just like this route. I like it a lot. I love the fact that, you know, you can go in all sorts of different directions. Like, you know, for example, if I go here, right? This way leads to somewhere. This way leads to somewhere. Okay? And that way, up this way here, that leads to somewhere, and of course that way leads to somewhere. I like that. I like the fact that there's a point in this route where, I mean, literally this is the centre of the route. I thought that was the original intention by the route developer, that he wanted, look at this main hub. That was where he started. He started at Bishop's Auckland and just sort of worked outwards, and then couldn't stop. I like to think he couldn't stop. Like, oh, I'll just do it to Durham. No, I may as well do it to Darlington. No, I may as well include the Weirhead bit. May as well do the Barton Castle bit while I'm at it. I like that. I like that a lot. We have arrived. Let's see how you've done. Right. Well, in that case, that's an end of it from me. So, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you again for another episode of Grey Strains. So remember to comment, like, subscribe if you want to. And until then, I shall see you in the next instalment of Grey Strains. Toodly Pipski.